With EC2 instances comes its maintenance. We need to power on, power off. We need to secure our EC2 instance or also troubleshoot if there is any issue. So let's go through the setting of the EC2 instance that we created, and then we'll see how we can change those settings as per our requirement. So here you see a lot of information about EC2 instance. It's instance ID. So every instance you create will get an ID. Instance type, T2 micro, that comes under free tier. In which zone it is running, AP South 1A. And remember, we did not selected any zone, so AWS selected it for us. Okay, actually there was a setting where we can select, but we just skipped it. Its state is running, and there will be some checks. There will be 2 checks actually. If this passes, then as per AWS this instance is healthy. And you're going to get a public DNS name which you can use to connect it. Also the public IP, of course. And you also will have a private IP. That's down here. Okay, key name, launch time when it was created, security group name, and who is the owner. That's the account ID. So much more detailed information is down here. Instance ID, status, availability zone, security group. You can see the rules. AMI, what AMI did you use to launch this instance? Its information. Key pair name. I so many times forget the key pair name of instance. So I see it and then I check in my folder that key will be available. I use that to log in. So that information over here is the public DNS name or public IP which we'll use to connect to this instance to do SSH. This is a Linux instance. So if you want to know the connection detail, you click on this connect button, you select your instance, say connect, and it will give you information how you can connect to this instance. So first it is telling the key that you have, give it permission 400. That's mandatory. And you can use that public DNS name to connect it. You can do SSH-I and the key name, username @ the IP, the public DNS name. Okay. So if you want, you can do copy paste, but we know how to do SSH to an instance. I'm going to open the git bash. So SSH-I, the key is downloaded into downloads directory. I recommend you move it to a different folder, a different directory, and keep all your key in one directory. We can maintain it. Username, it said as root @ and I'm not going to use that long DNS name. If you want, you can use that. I use IPs. So I copied that and shift insert to paste there. Hit enter. Okay. Yes to login. Alright, but it's throwing an error. Okay, it's telling me to log in with user CentOS rather than root user. So if you're wondering what username should I use to log in, you can find that information in the connect. I have used root because it told me to use root, but actually it's a trick. Then it will tell me use CentOS user. Fine, we use CentOS user, we are logged in. So from our previous requirement gathering, we need to install some tool over here. Sudo yum install get and httpd. So yes. Okay, good. We installed httpd. Let's start its service. Sudo httpd start. Oh, sudo service httpd start, or I should use systemctl because it's CentOS 7, right? Sudo systemctl. At least to enable, I'm going to use systemctl. Or better, I just do sudo -i and use systemctl enable httpd. Good. So httpd is installed, started and running, and I can access that service. So httpd will be hosted. Let me copy the IP or the DNS name there and put that in the browser. So it's going to access the httpd service on port 80 by default, and you get the test page. So let's be more generous and set up a better website. Let's go to twoplate.com and get a template from there. So why I renamed the project as Earth? That's because I'm going to take this template, Earth, and I'm going to download it, copy download link, copy link location, and go to my instance. Oh, I need also one more tool, wget. So I'm going to say wget -o web.zip and download the template. There we also need unzip, yum install unzip, because it's a zip file. We need to unzip web.zip. Okay, he got that directory 2113_earth, and that's all our data. We need to copy all this data recursively to var html. That's our document root directory for httpd, and then we are going to restart our service, systemctl restart httpd. Okay, now let's check again, refresh. Nice. Okay, one more thing, when you make an SSH connection to an EC2 instance, sometimes the session will be hung. Mostly this will happen for broadband connection, but if you have a proper leased line, then the session will not get hang. But if you're accessing it from your home where you have broadband connection which fluctuates, so to engage the SSH session, just run the top command, or for that matter any command that can engage this SSH session so it does not hang. So congratulations, you have hosted a website on AWS Cloud. You see how easy it was. But with that comes a few more complications of managing the instance. We sometimes need to shut down the instance or reboot the instance. So if you want to do shutdown, reboot, or if you don't want the instance, you can delete the instance. So you can go to you can select the instance, click on action, instance state. You can stop an instance. If you stop the instance, you won't be billed for the instance type. Okay, the instance compute resource, that won't be billed. AMI cost, if it's there, it's there. The instance type is billed hourly basis. So let's say you have selected an instance type that is charging you $1 per hour, and you power on the instance. So $1 is already billed to you, and then you run the instance for an hour, 1 hour, 1 minute, then 2 hours bill will be billed. So the billing is hourly basis. And when you stop the instance, that meter stops. You won't be billed for the hours if the instance is stopped. Instance type, there won't be any charge. But if you have an AMI that is you have already purchased, then that charge will be there on your bill. Or EBS volume, you have too huge size of volume, so that storage cost will be also billed. In EBS also you have free tier, so 30 GB is in free tier. So we have just 8 GB of volume, so we are already covered under free tier. So if while you're learning something, when you're launching the instance but you don't want to delete it, you can stop it and still save the cost. For some reason you want to reboot, you can click on reboot. The instance will obviously get rebooted. Terminate will delete the instance, wipe out. And if you have a question, if I delete the instance, can I recover it back? Well, that depends. If you deleted the instance but its root volume is still existing, or its volumes are still existing, then you can recover its data. But if the volumes are deleted, then you can't. You can also change instance settings, like you can change its tags, what you have given. These concepts we'll see later. You can change the instance type. Right now we have T2 micro. If you want a bigger, we can do that, but you see it's grayed out because the instance is still running. So to do that, you have to power off the instance. Okay, now one more thing. Before I power off the instance, take a note of the public IP that you have before you power off. When I power off, this IP will be gone. It's a dynamic IP. When I power on, I'll get a new IP. But if I reboot, the IP remains the same. But if I power off, it is going to release that IP. If you want a static IP, we can use elastic IP that I will show you in some time. So you see, I stopped the instance is in stopped state, it's powered off, and the public IP is also gone. Now if I want, I can change the instance type. I can go to instance setting, change instance type, and from T2 micro I can take a different instance type whenever I want. I apply, I power on the instance, and then the billing will be different now. The way billing will be for that particular instance type. Okay, I'm going to keep it T2 micro only, or let me do T2 small, and let's say apply. Now you see instance type change to T2 small, instance state, start. Now when I start, I will also get a public IP, and it's going to be new public IP. So Amazon has this pool of public IP. From that pool, it will allot an IP. It's going to be automatic. So that's a refresh button over here for the information. Instance state still pending. Okay, now it's running, and you see we got the IP, and this is different IP. Okay, check that. That was the IP 13.233.51.249, but now it's different, 13.127.119.194. Okay, so we need to use this new IP now. If you try this IP, you won't see anything. So I'm going to use new IP or new public DNS name, sorry. Hit enter. Yeah, all good. I have enabled the HTTPD service, so it came up, and I can again do SSH. I would have lost my Git session as of now. So SSH session is closed, and if you try to do SSH again to the same IP, it won't work because that's gone. We have a different IP now. So I'm going to try with different IP now. Different as in the right IP, not different IP. So I'm going to cancel that IP and put the right IP. Okay. Right, able to connect. Good. So right now my instance type is bigger, free-m. I have around 2 GB of RAM. This is T2 small, and there will be already charges on my bill for 1 hour because I just powered it on. Let's play a little bit with security group. So for the instance, that's the security group, Earth QA Web -SG we created. Let's click on it. Go to its inbound rule. And these are the rules that we have. Click on edit. So that's it. This rule says port 80 is allowed from any IPv6 IPs, and this says allow it from any IPv4 IP. If I remove this rules, if I say save, so now only 22 is allowed. And now let's say if I try to access this, now when I hit it through the browser, it will access it on port 80, which is blocked, so I won't get anything. So when you are trying to access a service running on EC2 instance, make sure its port number is allowing it from that particular area. Right now I'm accessing it from the office, so I have to say allow it from my office IP, or I can simply, I'm already sitting in the IP, so I can say in the security group port 80 allowed from my IP. So let's do that. Let's again come edit the security group rule. I can say here HTTP, so it has taken the right port 80, and I'm going to say allow it from anywhere, or I can say only from my IP. When I say my IP, then only from my office IP, not everybody in the world. Let's refresh that. You see, that's how it works. Also keep one more thing in mind. You would have launched your EC2 instance from your office, and port 22 you say allow from my IP, so that IP would be of your office IP. Then you go to your home or a different office location, and from there you're trying to do SSH. You won't be able to log in. So again, you have to edit the security group rule, and you have to say allow 22 from my IP, from wherever you're located currently. So you'd be able to do SSH to your instance. In the next video, we are going to talk about static IP. We're going to talk about AMI, how to create your own AMI, and few other things. In this video, only this much. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.